Comprehensive summary of Gyan Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda's Gyan Yoga is a powerful exposition on the path of knowledge, Gyan, as a means to spiritual liberation, Moksha. Rooted in Advaita Vedanta, this collection of lectures offers a rational and intellectual approach to self-realization, emphasizing that the Atman, individual soul, is not separate from Brahman, the ultimate reality. Vivekananda demystifies complex philosophical ideas, making them accessible to modern seekers while maintaining their depth and transformative power. Unlike devotion-based, bhakti yoga, or action-oriented, karma yoga, paths, Gyan Yoga relies on wisdom, self-inquiry, and discrimination to uncover the truth. The book systematically guides readers through fundamental Vedantic concepts, practical methods, and the relationship between knowledge and liberation. 1. The nature of reality, Brahman and Maya. One of the central themes of Gyan Yoga is the distinction between absolute reality, Brahman, and illusion, Maya. Vivekananda asserts that Brahman is infinite, formless, and the only true existence, while the material world is ever-changing and deceptive. Due to Maya, we perceive separations, differences, and individuality, failing to recognize the unity that underlies all existence. Liberation, Moksha, is not about escaping to another world, but about transcending illusion and realizing that our true nature is already divine. This realization comes through knowledge, not blind faith. 2. The path of discrimination and detachment. Vivekananda explains that spiritual growth in Gyan Yoga requires two key disciplines. Viveka, discrimination between real and unreal. This is the ability to distinguish between what is eternal, Brahman, and what is temporary, Maya. By refining our perception, we stop identifying with the body, mind, and emotions, recognizing them as impermanent. Vairagya, detachment from worldly attachments. The more we identify with the material world, the more we remain bound to suffering. Detachment does not mean running away from responsibilities but cultivating inner freedom, where external circumstances no longer dictate our peace. A central technique in this journey is Nididhyasana, not this, where the seeker negates all false identities, body, mind, and ego, until only pure consciousness remains. 3. The threefold method of Gyan Yoga. Vivekananda structures the practice of Gyan Yoga into three progressive stages. Shravana, listening to truth. The seeker must first learn about ultimate reality through sacred texts like the Upanishads, guided by a teacher, guru. Manana, reflective contemplation. After listening, one must reflect deeply on these truths, questioning and analyzing until they become internalized. Nididhyasana, meditative absorption. Finally, through deep meditation, the seeker moves beyond intellectual understanding into direct experience, dissolving the illusion of separateness. This process is demanding and requires discipline, but it ultimately leads to enlightenment. 4. Overcoming ignorance through knowledge. Vivekananda describes Avidya, ignorance, as the root of all suffering. Because of ignorance, we believe ourselves to be limited, weak, and separate from the divine. This false identification leads to fear, desire, and attachment. The cure for avidya is Gyan, true knowledge, which dispels ignorance as light removes darkness. Once we recognize our divine nature, we no longer fear death, loss, or suffering, as we understand that our true self, Atman, is beyond all change. This knowledge is not about accumulating information, but about a direct realization of truth through self-inquiry and meditation. 5. Gyan Yoga and other spiritual paths. While Gyan Yoga is a path suited to those inclined toward intellectual inquiry, Vivekananda emphasizes that it is not opposed to other forms of yoga. Instead, he harmonizes it with Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action, which purifies the mind and prepares it for wisdom. Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, which helps dissolve the ego through love for the divine. Raja Yoga, the path of meditation, which provides mental control and direct spiritual experience. Vivekananda asserts that while different individuals may be drawn to different paths, all ultimately lead to the same realization of oneness. 6. Gyan Yoga as a scientific and rational path. One of the most remarkable aspects of Gyan Yoga is its emphasis on logic, reason, and direct experience. Vivekananda presents spirituality not as blind belief, but as a rigorous and rational pursuit of truth. He bridges ancient Vedantic wisdom with modern scientific thought, showing that true knowledge, Gyan, is verifiable through inner experience. This approach makes Gyan Yoga particularly appealing to those who seek spirituality through reasoning rather than ritual. It also highlights the importance of self-effort. Each person must realize the truth for themselves, rather than relying on external authorities. 7. Practical applications of Gyan Yoga. Although Gyan Yoga is an intellectual path, it is not merely theoretical. Vivekananda provides practical insights into applying its principles in daily life. Self-reflection, regular questioning of one's identity and existence. Who am I beyond this body and mind? Mind control, developing inner discipline to prevent distractions and attachments from clouding our understanding. Compassionate living, while detachment is emphasized, it does not mean indifference. Realizing oneness with all beings leads to genuine compassion and service. By incorporating these principles, individuals can cultivate inner freedom and unshakable peace. 8. The goal: liberation, Moksha. The ultimate purpose of Gyan Yoga is Moksha, the realization that we are not limited individuals but one with the infinite. This is not a mystical state far removed from reality, but a shift in perception, an awakening to the truth that was always present. Vivekananda describes this as the highest form of freedom, where there is no fear, sorrow, or attachment. The enlightened person sees the divine in everything, living with complete inner peace while fully engaged in the world. Conclusion: Gyan Yoga as a path to truth and unity. Gyan Yoga is more than just a spiritual philosophy, it is a practical, transformative discipline that leads from ignorance to enlightenment. By stripping away illusions and realizing our divine nature, we attain true freedom. Swami Vivekananda's teachings make these profound Vedantic truths accessible to a global audience, emphasizing that spirituality is not about blind faith, but about fearless inquiry and direct experience. His exposition of Gyan Yoga remains a cornerstone for those seeking wisdom, self-discovery, and ultimate liberation.